Keeping it real, keeping it real. Keeping it real, keeping it real. Keeping it real with Reverend Laura.
Each individual life is a unique expression of the universal wholeness. So each one of us is that place that Spirit shows up here. And we know that Spirit is wholeness. Spirit is complete within itself. And there is nothing lacking. There's no nothing that's out of integrity, nothing that isn't congruent with the rest of it. And so this wholeness, this idea of wholeness, exists in that universal concept in Spirit. And then it shows up in each one of our own individual lives as the wholeness that we are. When we arrive in this plane of existence, we are 100% whole and complete right there. Everything that we ever need is already within us. Everything that we could ever become is already within us. We are complete and whole. How many of you experienced any time in your life when you didn't quite feel whole? We arrive in a state of wholeness, and then life happens. And life happens around us. And as life happens around us, we start to make decisions based on the things that happen. Like right from the very moment we are born, our little bodies start to make decisions about how life is for us. And each one of those decisions starts to chip away at this feeling of wholeness, to where we don't always feel that in our lives. The wholeness is complete there. It's always there. But all of this stuff gets layered onto it, to where we begin to forget our idea of wholeness. Life happens around us, and we begin to feel anything but whole. We forget that we came as this complete package in the beginning. And then we start to develop behaviors to compensate for that feeling of anything but wholeness. And some of these behaviors then increase our sense of being less than whole, being divided, having a life that isn't quite what we thought it should be. And what happens within us then is we begin to feel incongruent with our inner expression and our outer expression. We start to feel like, I don't quite fit in. Or there's something wrong with me because I'm not feeling right in this place. I do a lot of work around ideas of shame and guilt. And I read a lot about it and so forth. And this idea of guilt is that I did something wrong. But the idea of shame is I am wrong. Something fundamentally about me is wrong. And shame is built when we chip away at our wholeness, when we begin to hide our true nature, when we begin to cover it up with all of the coping mechanisms and things that we adapt to make us feel okay in the world when we're not feeling congruent on the inside and the outside. And all of that builds into this feeling of shame, this feeling like I am somehow fundamentally flawed, that there's something about me that isn't right. And that's the feeling of shame that I think permeates so much of our world. So many people are caught up in this unspoken, unexplored feelings of shame and inadequacy because we have forgotten our wholeness. We have forgotten that we came here as this complete and perfect vessel. We've forgotten that Spirit doesn't make mistakes. It didn't make a mistake with us. There's nothing wrong with us. There's nothing that we should even have any sense of shame about, because we came in here perfect, whole, and complete.
Keeping it real with Reverend Laura.